Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. Hioho Mitakiape, Eva Cordova Yamachiape, Malakota and Taos Pueblo. My Ina is Patricia Crow Cordova. My Dama is Joseph Cordova, also Conquilla from Taos Pueblo. I'm the sixth generation from Chief Red Cloud, and I'm so happy to be here today. Today is January 30th, and it's 3:01. Today I come to you from the lands. I'm near Snow Mountain Paiute Tribe, which is in the Los Angeles, I'm sorry, not Los Angeles, the Las Vegas, Nevada area. And I always like to recognize those lands that we're on. As a visitor here, my people come from, like I said, Taos Pueblo, which is the 19th Pueblo in New Mexico, and the Great Oglala Lakota Nation, which is in Pine Ridge, South Dakota. So, being here a visitor, I'd like to acknowledge that. And that's why I like to honor land recognition. So, today I'm coming to you for our Business Buzz episode 3. And before we begin, let me just explain to you who I am and what I do and why we're here. So, you can go ahead and drop your comments in the comment box and I'll be happy to answer them or shout you out or highlight them. My name is Avro Cordova, as I mentioned in my intro. I am the owner operator of AC and Associates, and so I'm an entrepreneur, small business individual, and I have always have these thoughts and things that I want to do. And one of the things that I wanted to do was start chatting with individuals and letting them know my business and highlighting other people's small business and successes and loss and what I've done. So it's like a personal chat of my business and your business. If you have businesses, drop them in the comments. We would like to shout you out and let people know who you are. Last on episode 2, we had two amazing guests who were um, Brian Frijo and Jackie Nunez. They're both amazing native artists, and one's a basket maker, one's a other presenter, talks on suicide, and it was so great to have them. We had also Lupe Lopez, who's from the workforce development at United American Indian Involvement, UAII, which is in the Los Angeles area. So I just wanted to say that we had those individuals last on episode 2, and now this is episode 3. So we're going to have a conversation together, and I just like to recognize some individuals that said hello in the chat. Connie Norris, it's always so great to see you from Lawton, Oklahoma, and good afternoon. We have Nikki Crow, who is saying hello and just wanted to drop in for a few minutes and say hi and show some love. Thank you, Nikki. You're doing amazing work. Nikki is a care coordinator with Seven Generations at United American Indian Involvement, and they do a lot of great cultural work. So get at Nikki if you have questions or comments. Also, I see in our comment section is Songchu Payochi. Hi, good afternoon from Bluefield, New Mexico. So for me, it's been a busy day. This morning, I had a youth pre-planning meeting for United Native Youth of Los Angeles meeting, which is in February, and we were speaking to youth and community members about the different types of activities that youth want to see. And we have a United Native Youth of Los Angeles meeting, a youth meeting on February 8th, which is a Monday. It's from 6 to 7 Pacific Standard Time. And from that planning meeting, we will be having a flyer out shortly. And the topic that will be held will be adultism. And one of our youth, Angie Diaz, will be speaking on that. She's on the California Endowment's Youth Coalition, so she'll She learned some new stuff about adultism. Who knows about adultism? Let us know in the comments if you heard about that, or if you have youth that are interested in knowing what adultism is. She's going to be doing a presentation on that. So again, that's February 8th, Monday. Um, and it's via Zoom. So if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact me, and we'll go ahead and get you on the. We'll go ahead and send you out a flyer and information on how to join us on that Zoom. So thank you all again for being here. So that was the first part of my day. The second part of my day was having the honor to say a prayer with um, the organization that's doing great work in New Mexico. And they invited me to say a prayer. They talked about the House bills that um, are up on the House bills that are being voted on in New Mexico, and it had to do with Indian education. And the individual who I have um, a high honor of knowing is Wilhelmina Yazi. And I met her through virtual, and she's just an amazing individual. So, if you've heard about the Yazi Martinez case in New Mexico, she was able to go over that information during that community forum, which they had. And they also had some um, representatives come out and speak, and it was just great to see the work that's being done in New Mexico. So thank you, Sangchi Payochi, for inviting me to say the prayer. So as I mentioned, my name is Avril, and I'm with AC and Associates. I'm the owner operator, and with all of my workshops or events or things that I do, for me, I like to open in a good way. So I open with prayer, and today I'm coming to you with some California white sage that I was able to harvest um, in California, actually in San Fernando Valley. And I'm going to go ahead and light it. And um, different tribes use different medicines, from corn pollen to cedar to sage to sweetgrass. What type of medicines do you use in your home? Also, holy water if you know you go to Catholic, if you're Catholic, or but as native and as an individual who honors Mother Earth, I use sage. And wrapping sage and harvesting sage, I was able to learn that from my father, Kunkila, who I mentioned him earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer, and thank you all for being here. Um, so just going to do a quick prayer. Creator, we come to you today with open hearts and open minds, thankful for the many blessings that you provide us on a minute, monthly, second basis, from the ability to walk, talk, be here today on this platform to speak with individuals who might have their own business, who might be thinking about their own business, or just talking about dreams and goals. May you continue to watch over them as you've watched over me. Continue to bless them, keep them healthy, wealthy, and safe. Continue to be with them and allow them to follow their dreams, follow their heart, and know that they are loved. Thank you. Pilamayaye, Atiehet, Wadu, Ajonasle, Ajonasle, Ajonasle. Amen. Gracias. So thank you all for allowing me to say that prayer. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is about dreams and goals, and what it is that you might be thinking of doing, or jumping into, or anything. The question that I have is, what is your goal for today? It doesn't even have to be about business. I know that today I washed the dishes, and that was one of my goals today. Um, and there was dishes piling up, and I had, all of these meetings to do, and I took a quick break in between, and I was like, I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to come back to it, and I finally did right before this session. So, what type of goals do you have? I know that a lot of the times, small goals are um, things that I, for myself, have been writing down to do. And I've been using my planner, which I was gifted for Christmas, to check off those goals. It can be something simple from doing the dishes to um, completing a PowerPoint to sending an email. What type of goals do you have for today? I know one of my other goals is walking to the mailbox, which is about four houses down. It's a community mailbox that we have to go get the mail. It's taking the kids out of the house because we've been stuck in home all day long. So, my question to you is, what is your goal for today and how can we achieve it? What I had mentioned again is that I write stuff down. And I know that I didn't used to do that, and my brain was all over the place. And my brain is still all over the place. I'm not one to. I have a lot of things going on in our head, and I know a lot of us do. And I was in a class the other day about sleeping and how important it is to sleep. Um, so when we go to sleep, putting our phone down, turning off all the lights, and making sure that our brain just relaxes. Because if we're looking at TV, or I'm one to sleep with the TV on, so the TV is usually watching me when I'm going to sleep or when I'm trying to go to sleep. And I know that that's not good, but I need the noise. I think I need the noise, actually. I think because the other day I turned off all the lights and I actually fell asleep, but I have insomnia as well. So it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So I see some comments and I just want to go to them. Thank you guys for interacting with me. I see Robin Gomez who said, "Hi, Avro, blessings, relatives." I also see Sangtree who says, "Does adultism include learning about sound credit?" That's a good question. I can ask the presenter to um, if she wants to speak on that or if she has any information. I don't know what she learned, so why don't you join us and ask that question? And maybe there might be some individuals in the same meeting that can answer that. Sangchi also saying, "Ta for opening our community discussion with the prayer and land acknowledgement." And then some other goals that are being done is getting my workspace at home organized, decluttering. I totally understand. I'm still trying to set up a workspace. Right now, I have um, my laptop on a box of Huggies diapers for my granddaughter, and then a little table. Um, so, some other goals is set time aside to do reading assignments for my class at UNM called Native American Activism. Thank you, Sangchi, for mentioning that. I know one of the things that I had to do was set time to work. So I'm here in Las Vegas and I have my grandkids. And if you hear noise in the background, that's because they're listening to their tablets. But one of the things that I had to actually schedule was from 10 to 11:30 to work. And that helped me because at 9:30 I started working and I got it done before 11:30. So it is about definitely setting time aside to do different things. Um, One of the other goals that we have in here is oil change to get back to um, California from Connie and Robin, finishing reading a book for class. I know that there's other individuals out there that are actually in school and they do a lot of different reading. I myself am not a reader and I'm okay with that. I actually um, like to um, listen to audiobooks. Actually, last night while doing a presentation or a PowerPoint, I was listening to a podcast, and it was very great to listen to that podcast and get inspiration from other people. So audiobooks are good as well. So in the chat, I have left the StreamYard link if you'd like to join me right now and talk about your goals. Um, some things that I've been actually again doing about my dreams and goals is, like I said, writing stuff down, crossing it off the list. I know that um, on that list, there has been oil change. There hasn't been reading a book, but there has been doing PowerPoints and different things like that. So, with my business, I do different types of workshops, training workshops, positivity and parenting, train the trainers. I know that for me, my work virtually has been really a great thing because I'm here in Las Vegas right now and I'm able to work with virtually to be doing different things. So, this time right now is just of what your goals are for today, what your dreams are for today, and just have like a conversation with anybody that's watching. I appreciate you guys being here, and I wanted to say that a lot of the times I've been hard on myself to not get to my goals or not get to my dreams, but also believing in myself. A lot of the times we have imposter syndrome, or I have an imposter syndrome, which means that I don't think I can do what I'm doing. And a lot of the times I'm hard on myself. And one of the things that my sister had mentioned to me was like, you're doing it. Now you got to step up to the next big thing when I was doing webinars. And now I'm here, doing this. And the platform that I'm using is there's a lot of different platforms. There's Zoom, there's Restream, there's StreamYard. There's a lot of different platforms that allow us to get out there virtually. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that happens when you're using different platforms, and it's a learning process. There's a lot of times that we don't know how to do what we're doing, and I personally don't claim to know all the answers. And I heard that from somebody that said that the other day when they were talking about the sleeps with the therapy. She was a therapist, and she said, "I don't claim to know all the answers." And I liked that, and I borrowed it, so I'm saying it today. But I've been inspired by a lot of different people in my life, and thank you, Songtree, for jumping on. I have a guest, and she's backstage right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on and have a conversation. And if anybody else wants to be in this conversation, please again feel free to um, jump on with by hitting that link button that's in the comments or asking questions. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on Songtree. And hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing so much better. I was so excited and nervous about the my first online event today, and I I just was so nervous that I was going to fail and that it wouldn't work out. And we had a little, not even many bumps, but so just learning how to produce an event like that. I'm so grateful that everything went good, and we started with a prayer, and we had some representatives come to our discussion, and a lot of parent advocates got involved, and it was really a good thing. And I'm so excited that you were a part of it. And you know I think we had about 17 participants, so we had a really good discussion about inequities in Indian education in New Mexico.
Thank you for sharing. Can you tell me a little bit about how you organized that and what you did? Because I mean, a lot of times people see us on screen, but there's a lot of back work that needs to be done for it to flow,
Yeah.
And I know that you on that council, it's a youth. Can you say what it is again?
It's called T to 2032 Youth Action League. And so it's a brand new kind of incubator for young people, or any age actually, to learn how to organize and produce events and be involved. Use your voice, meaning write emails to your legislators and round up people to bring awareness to issues. And so you're right. Like we see all these events being produced on Facebook and Instagram and everything. And like because of COVID, we've had to pivot and learn how to communicate this way. And that was one of my biggest fears because, I'm not old, but I'm older to where the technology, has advanced so much since when I was learning it in high school and college. And so I've had to rely on a lot of my colleagues to, um, produce these events for me because I was like their supervisor in my former position as a tribal outreach organizer, and they were my fellows. So they would, produce all these events for me. But that kind of like was a disadvantage for me because I didn't know the logistics of, creating a Bitly and creating a Google form and going live on Facebook and using Zoom and all of those, controls and options and, n- you know, putting PowerPoints on the Zoom and having like a really good flow. So yeah, that could caused me some nights of insomnia thinking about it, but you just do it and you ask for help. And you helped me, to make the process more smooth with your expertise as a community organizer, online one. And so that kind of put my stress level down. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that information. Um, it's it is an honor to have somebody ask me about what I do and how to do it. And I'm not a person keeping it to myself because we all need to grow together. Um, during this pandemic, a lot of us have had to pivot and do different things. And I know people may like be tired of hearing us say pivot, but we are being resilient during this time, whether it is I know how to do it or not. I'm going to say that I'm going to learn, I'm going to learn how to do it. I'm going to try to do the best job that I can. I know when we were talking, we had, I don't remember where we had mentioned this, but we've always been um, a working generation. And you said I'm not that old, and that makes me not that old. I don't want to be old either, but that makes me not that old. And the reason that I'm saying that is because if you don't know, and Songtru didn't introduce herself of who she is, but she's actually my twin sister. She's known me since I was born, before I was born. she was she's older than me. She's older than me by 11 minutes, and she'll always take that. But we definitely have to learn, you know, learn how to do what it is that we want to do. And that's why one of the reasons why I put is, what is your goals, what is your dreams, and how can we make those things happen or come to fruition. I know a lot of the times different people use different tools, from a vision board to writing their goals down, or all kinds of other things like that. So what are things that you do? I know that vision board has you've invited me to a vision board making, but what are you doing?
So one of my main goals is my education. And I'm a student at the University of New Mexico. Go Lobos! And majoring in Native American Studies with an emphasis in leadership and building Native nations and a minor in business management. And I have a dream to go to law school. And during my undergraduate study, hold on a second, my heater is making a weird noise. Anyway, I have during my undergraduate study, I made really good relationships with my professors. And so they really want me to go to graduate school for Native American Studies. And I was like, okay, since they have so much confidence in me, let me just apply to both law school and graduate school, and then I could decide what I want to do. And so when you were talking about resilience earlier, it made me think of in order to get into graduate school, I need 3 letters of recommendation. And I sent an email to one of my former professors that I took a class called Socio-Political Issues in Native America. And I got an A in that class, and it was mostly writing essays. Since I'm an online student, we have to do reaction papers and a lot of reading. And so I felt like I had a pretty intimate relationship with her because we write about our trials and tribulations as Indigenous peoples. And she responded to me and said, yeah, I really think that you should seek out a tenured professor's letter of recommendation for graduate school. So basically, she rejected me or said no, and I was like livid because we have this philosophy that, we need to help each other and we need to leave the ladder down. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is like an Indigenous sister that told me no. And I reached out to you and to some other, confidants and talked through it and stuff. And then I missed a Tiwa class that night too. We have a Tiwa language class, and one of the things that one of our Metu, our teachers, said is that they're expanding their language program. They're getting a new building from ground up. And if we ever needed any letters of recommendation for our pursuits, whether it be education or career, that they would be happy to provide a letter of recommendation for me. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the creator, this is the creator, like saying, don't give up, keep going. And so I was really grateful for that. So don't give up. Keep going. There's other ways to do things, other people that will
Yeah.
vouch for you.
The thing that I found with my own business and doing the work that I'm doing, and I do a lot of different types of work, but is that people really do want to support you. If they believe in the cause, then they're going to find a way to support you. And whether that be writing a letter or encouraging you or helping you to find a way to get to your dreams, that all happens when you talk about what it is that your goals and dreams are. And I know that a lot of people don't believe in manifesting or, doing the vision board, and that's okay. But for me, it works. When I put it out there, things seem to come easier to me or come to me without me having to go out and look for it. I worked in nonprofit for almost 14 years and I learned a lot of skills working for nonprofit. Then when I went on my own, I thought, it's hard being a small business, not knowing where my next check is. Because if I have a regular job, then I know that the money's coming in. But as a small business, I need to work for that and I need to look for different places. But luckily, different people came to me and said, hey, can you help us with that? Can you help us with this? Can you provide us a positive Indian parenting class? And I was like, oh my gosh, I know all of this stuff. So people really do want to support you. So that's what I want to say. And then with regards to like other students, how do you like finish reading your books or what do you do as a student um, to get through your school?
Well, I definitely have to be good at time management. And so I've made investments in that. I bought dry erase boards, calendars, planners, and organize my time. And, you have to do your due diligence and, be dedicated to your studies. It is hard work, but uh, like you and I differ because I'm a reader and you're not, or you didn't used to be anyway. And so um once I get reading, oh my gosh, just it's amazing what you learn. I'm studying something called, it's a study from Canada called Land Back, and it talks about tribal consultation and this acronym called FPIR free, prior, informed consent. So what that basically is sometimes, like in the Dakota Access Pipeline, they sent an email to like the president of that um, tribe and was like, we're gonna build this oil pipeline through your land, basically. That is not free, prior, and informed consent, tribal consultation. An email or even just talking to, a sovereign nation like that is not fulfilling tribal consultation. So, you know, I have to be cognizant of what I'm reading is really important for the times that we're in right now. Some tribal leaders, some school superintendents, some CEOs, corporations, they don't understand what tribal consultation really is. And so we have to be in a position to educate them. And so I hope that answers your question. Oh, how do I organize my time? So yeah, I have to really be conscious about, my studies and what I'm learning and designating time for that. So, and it's hard because I have 3 kids, I'm married, I have a horse right there. And we have all of these tugs on our time, but we just, we have to be diligent and make sure we prioritize our responsibilities. It's hard, but we got to do it.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. I know there are other students watching. Robin Gomez says, "Oh, in the comments, I do want to let you know that as Songtri mentioned, she takes a Tiowa class, and I also take a Tiowa class. And those are done on Wednesdays. And the Taos Pueblo language class is actually accepting language warriors. I like that word, language warriors, because we need to keep our language alive. In order to be a sovereign nation, you have to have members, you have to know your language. And if our language dies, then where does that leave us? So, as a secondary learner, language learner, it's hard, and for Taos Pueblo, um, our language is never written down, or it wasn't written down, and the way that you learned it was through being active at in Taos Pueblo. And for a lot of tribal nations, their language isn't as active, with relocation and boarding schools, all of that got taken away from us. But if you are an enrolled member of Taos Pueblo and you're interested in language classes, I did include the email that you can send education@taospueblo.com and inquire about the language classes. They're Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but it's different in that area that they're in. So, is there anything else, Songtri, that you want to say or talk about?
Just one last thing about, you know, learning your language. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So even taking the first step, no matter where you're from, reaching out to your tribe's education department and see if they do have a language class. And if they don't, tell them that you need one because this is the moment right now where we're asking our legislatures for money. We have an administration, um, the Biden administration that's in place right now, and they are very responsive to our needs. And I'm a member of the National Congress of American Indians, and I was on a webinar the other day, and the president of NCAI was saying, this is the first time ever that the Biden or any administration has set a meeting with the National Congress of American Indians on day 2. So they are not going to be able to serve us unless we are letting them know what our needs are. So anything from language, education, water, like anything, we need to be reaching out to our tribal members, even if you live in urban areas, even if you live in rural areas, off Pueblo lands, off your reservation. Like I really encourage you to stay in contact or make contact with our tribal officials, our relatives, because they need to hear our needs so that they can serve us.
Hmm. That's really good information. I like everything that you said. It is important for us to learn our language. I know that in Taos Pueblo, it's once a week, but I also take a second class, which is a Lakota language class through Thunder Valley. And in the comments, I've actually also put Thunder Valley's information if you're interested in Lakota language classes. For Lakota language classes, it is actually Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. So if you have an hour during those times, we learn a lot of things. We learn to count. We learn to introduce ourselves. And if you're interested in learning Lakota language, there's a link right there for the registration form. Um, Also, these classes are free. There's nothing that you have to pay for. I mean, you do have to have internet access. You have to have, check in on a regular and, being a regular student and learning on your own. But it's a way to start learning who you are as a person, who you are as a people, and what your culture. Because through Tiwa, they don't only teach us language, they talk about the different things that are happening at the Pueblo. We just have a new administration that came into Taos Pueblo, and they actually are a younger generation. And like I said before, our language was never written down, and you can only learn it orally. So when our metus, our teachers, said, say it this way, we can't write it down because you're not supposed to write it down. But the new administration is very supportive, and also gave them like the go ahead to record the classes, which is amazing because we've never recorded anything before. A lot of the times I put Taah, and that might not even be the right spelling. People spell it differently, but because we don't write it down. So I just want to encourage anybody that's Lakota or Taos Pueblo, if they want to, um, seek out language classes, then there are two right there. Like Songtree said before, if you are an enrolled member or if you're, a secondary learner, I always talk to my grandkids and speak to them in the small words that I know of their language, siéntate, or counting in numbers. I can count to 10 in Spanish, and I can't even count to 10 yet in my own Taos Pueblo language. I mean, I know how to do it, but I just got to keep reiterating it and practicing. And that's what we need to do with our goals and our dreams. Keep working on it on a daily basis. Write stuff down on a daily basis. There's a lot um, to learn as a small business. You need insurance. You need all of these different things, licenses, and that's something that I'm working out. And I know that Lupe Lopez is usually here, or has been here on the last two events, but use your workforce development on your tribal lands if there's workforce development. That's a great way for them to help you with your small business. And there's a lot of different types of scholarships as well. If you're a student, sign up for that free money, and help get yourself through college. I know, Songtree, you just recently were awarded a scholarship, right? Do you want to talk on that?
Sure. Um, yeah, I, you know, attended school full time in the fall of 2020 and applied for these scholarships and got some, didn't get some. And just last week, I got an email that said you are awarded $1,000 scholarship for the fall of 2020. And I was like, wow, that's cool because we're already in the spring of 2021. And so I could definitely use that money for a new printer or ink for my printer and, whatever I need, I can use it. And I'm at a point in school where I've exhausted all of, I can't get any more loans. I can't get any more Pell Grant. And so I rely entirely on scholarships and grants. And so I'm really thankful to my tribe for making education a priority. They've been able to fund my education so far. And, um, these other scholarship opportunities that are offered through UNM and COVID relief money, um, all of that is really, I'm getting my W-2s and all my forms and I'm like, wow, I got over $13,000 last year in scholarships and grants. So it really, I mean, it takes a lot of time to, and kind of like reflection about and writing these essays about yourself and your community impact and the barriers that you're facing, like I talked to you about earlier, um, if it was somebody else or maybe somebody with less tenacity, they would give up, and but I was like, I probably have 20 people that are standing beside me that I could ask, but I was really wanting that one letter from that one professor. So yeah, um, just a lot of amazing people like Eloise Cobell, the fight that she led and the scholarship program that has been created because of that, Navajo Nation scholarship, every tribe has their own scholarship program. Um, and every gaming tribe also has, money that is funneled, to education and things like that. So it's a lot of work and a lot of diligence, but it is possible no matter what age you are.
Yeah, and with you saying that too, with writing those grants and with writing those, you have some practice. You're practicing what it is that you are wanting to do. So even like with COVID being here and learning these new things like the Bitly or the Google form, and those are hard to do, but um, also when you keep practicing, it's easy. I was able to teach that to you like within, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes, and you
Hmm.
had a successful um, event. And one of the things I like about Google Forms is that when you ask different things, like the name, like whatever you register, it keeps that data for you. So there you are, like having data information. Um, but, anyways, um, there's a lot of different tips and tricks that we can use during virtual stuff, and we can go into that later if people want that. Let me know in the comments, or what you want to see.
Yeah. One last thing before I have to go, um, is we have a huge need for Native American educators, because our students, even at my age, as an undergraduate student, we want to see ourselves in the books. We want to see our faces, um, in the teachers that we're getting taught by. And so there's a ton of money in New Mexico, in the teacher education pipeline. And so if that's something that you would consider, I would strongly consider you do that. I'm pretty sure California has some programs that are in place for that. And I just thinking off the top of my head, if you decide to become a teacher in New Mexico, they'll give you a $20,000 living stipend. So there's definitely a ton of money out there. And so partner up with like people that can help you navigate those resources, because that's that's a that's going to take generations of work to see that dream happen, to see, you know, every Native American child educated by a Native American educator.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And I
thank you.
gotta go.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining me. I know
That's
your
it.
horse is hungry. Hi. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful individual. Can you introduce yourself? I know you have to go, but I just want to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Cheyenne Koyochi, and this is my mom. Um, and I'm Taos Pueblo in Oglala, Lakota, and Navajo too, because my dad's Navajo. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a college student as well at Salmon College.
And aren't you a recently employed individual too?
Oh yeah, by Salmon College. I'm a music teacher assistant.
Nice. Great job, Sissy. Thank you. Okay, well, we'll let you guys go. Ta'a, thank you for being here.
Okay.
We'll see you later. Asamoah, Hama?
Huh.
Okay. So that was my twin sister and my niece. Again, I put the link in the comments if you'd like to join me. We're just having casual conversation. The question that I had posed to the audience was, what is your goal for today? Today, my goals, I had written them down. I had three important things that I had to do. One of them was this business buzz. I'm actually going to start a new series. So we will continue business buzz, and then we'll start a new series. I also actually want to share with you a couple of things that I do. So with AC and Associates, I do a lot of different types of um, trainings and online events. And one of the partners that I partner with or I'm contracted by is Paku Cultural Community Services. We have a online event twice a month, and for February and March, actually, they're the same dates. How weird is that? But for February and March, it's February 10th and March 10th, and then February 24th and March 24th. We meet from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we meet online via YouTube, Zoom, no, not Zoom, YouTube and Facebook Live. A lot of the times, and the reason that we do that, and today, the reason that we do that is because a lot of times some people don't have Facebook, but a lot of people do have YouTube. So you can also stream this on YouTube or see this on YouTube. And one of the things I want to mention is that if you do go to my YouTube page and watch this, um, please like, subscribe, and share. I know for YouTube, it's you can get notifications and make sure that you hit that notification bell to see when I'll be doing lives. Also, to go back to Paku Cultural Community Services. So I do an online event twice a month with Eric Sanchez and Robin Gomez, the dream team of Paku. We do a lot of different things, and they actually received a grant, and that's how I can be on that or be contracted by that. Is they got money to do a wellness hour. So we do Paku Wellness Hour twice a month. And February is coming up, and I know it's a lot of self care and wellness that we'll be talking about. Also, importance is about COVID to stay masked up, stay safe, and how are we getting through COVID? How are we keeping our families and ourselves safe? So that is one of the things that I do for Paku. I know they have a let me put back up their website. They do have a youth group called Tachint, and Tachint is a youth group, and they have a 6-month program where they um, have different types of workshops. One of the workshops that I'm doing next week is about medicines, and that medicine is about sage. So California white sage, how to wrap it, how to pray with it, what is smudging, and I talk to their youth about that. A lot of the times I hear a lot of youth say, well, they didn't teach me, or nobody taught me, or, and a lot of times what I am now figuring out is that we need to also seek out that training or that workshop or that language that we want to know more about. Um, so that's what I do with Paku as well. And then as AC and Associates, we actually are facilitating a Train the Trainer, Positive Indian Parenting. Luckily, there are 2 tribal nations that want to be trained in Positive Indian Parenting. And what is Positive Indian Parenting? It's a parenting class. It's an 8 to 10 week parenting class. For Los Angeles, it's actually accepted as a parenting class in the courts. So I'm training positive Indian parenting to some tribal nations, and then doing just other types of work in our community. I am a board member with American Indian Community Council, and that's why we had the meeting this morning with youth for United Native Youth of Los Angeles. Um, the meeting is on Monday, February 8th, I believe I had mentioned. And then AICC meeting is February 9th, which is on that Tuesday. So join us. Get in contact with me if you want to know more information. Again, I just showed you. I just want to say thank you for watching. You can subscribe and follow. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and also on Twitch. And you can, if you have any questions or comments or want to get in contact with me about different types of things, you can also email me at Avril Cordova, Avril Cordova, Cordova, at gmail.com. If you're interested in being a part of the community in different ways. I have a lot of case management in my background, so it's case management is um, being a like a resource book. So um, being able um, to um, help people, and that's one of the things that I like to do is definitely help. Say hi, Sissy. So this is my granddaughter. We call her Sissy, but her name is Delilah. So I'm here in, like I said, Paiute country in Nevada, and um, I'm so thankful and grateful that you guys are checking in and watching. If there's any other comments or questions, please feel free to put them um, in the comment section. But I really appreciate you guys all being here and checking in. Um, I really appreciate you all. Follow me on my socials, and we'll be back soon in February. We'll be doing some more things. If there's some things that you want to see us do on Business Buzz, feel free to note them in the comments. If you're a business and you want to um, showcase your business here, I'd be more than happy to have you as a guest. And just keep safe. Wear masks, stay safe, wash your hands, stay social distance if you can. I know Los Angeles recently opened up, but just stay safe. If you want more information about vaccines and all of that information, I know that you can go to the CDC website for more information. And UAII, United American Indian Involvement, also has a clinic with information. I know in Los Angeles as well, you can check out 211. Which gives you a lot of information about resources in your area. And I'm just so excited that you guys have joined me today. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we're actually going to close it and just say Ta'a Pilamayaye Etiahet Wadu Gracias. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.